Play and Coastline, I could not have picked a better map to kick off this best of 3.
I really think that both of these teams are going to be out here to send a big message on this first map. Obviously, Ape, they're going to try to stop this attack in its tracks. They're going to try to shut down these gatekeepers early. And if they do that, I think they're going to take this 2-0. They're not even going to let it go to map 3. I think if the gatekeepers, though, their mission here is to just get some traction and really make Ape worried. Because if you can get in the Ape's heads a little bit and really think, oh, what is this, team out of nowhere who's just putting the pressure on this Challenger League very impressive roster, I think that is a very good position for them to be in if the gatekeepers want to take this map. But we're going to get into our ban phase, and we already see the Lion off the board. That is a pretty interesting ban. I mean, Lion is one of those operators that is seen on Coastline more than any other map, similar to a Yana pick, because Hard Breach is not essential on a map like Coastline. There's so many different variations in your attacking lineup you can really bring to the table, and so that's why we're going to see that Lion ban. Definitely interesting and something to take note of as well, and the Ace and the Valkyrie bans will follow us up.
So this final ban, really up in the air. We could see Umai, we could see Maestro, maybe Malusi. For the... It's really hard to guess. Okay, so the Maestro is removed. So you have kind of a lack of intel here. I mean, the Valkyrie cameras are so effective. I don't think the gatekeepers want to be ran out on necessarily. One ban that's traditionally absent is the Nomad. Air jabs, I think, will play a very large role if gatekeepers can use those to gain an upper hand. I think they'll have a lot of success. One thing to note is we actually have Melted in today. I'm not the most confident in the Apes roster. As far as my knowledge, I think Melted might be, I'll let you carry on, Jonah, while I go ahead and double check that, because I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page here.
Okay, no problem there. We're going to be heading over to Kitchen and Service. That's going to be our first site. This one is usually back and forth as our primary bomb site. Often Hookah and Billiards will be that primary, but it seems that we've got Kitchen and Service, at least the first one, for this Ape defense. But in terms of this attack, we take a look at our lineup, and that's going to be the Jackal coming out there, as well as the Buck, the Ash, the Sledge, and the Zofia. And this is a perfect lineup for the vertical pressure that we're going to see all map. We're going to see vertical pressure from above and below. If we head over to Hookah and Billiards, we're probably going to see Apollo coming up from below with that skeleton key. But we're on Kitchen, and it's going to be top-down vertical play using that breaching hammer, the breaching rounds, the impact grenades, and that skeleton key, all trying to force these anchors out of their positions on the Kitchen and Service site, hoping to get those early picks and enable the execute to eventually go down. Something on the defensive lineup for Ape that's interesting, we are going to see the Legion in play. We're going to use those impacts for rotates, no impact tricking coming out whatsoever, and those goo mines just going to be hoping to just stick in the feet of those attackers, just slow it down a little bit, and Call Out not wasting any time, nor is Splash. Melted's going to be the first to hit the deck, as this Rush is already working its way in blue bar.
That is not the way you want to start off Coastline. Just rushed in, Melted, shut down so swiftly here, so the gatekeepers, just as you say it, waste no time. They're going to move in very quickly now for the south to north take. A drone upstairs trying to reveal Callout's position. Losing the Vigil is a big hit to that roam presence. We might even see Ape try to rotate back, but I think they're just going to rely on this vertical pressure that they have currently. I went and confirmed that Melted is actually part of the core roster, so we've got that in the bag. It's understood. My apologies, and yeah, Melted, the core player here, losing him early, not a good start. Rotate here for Splash as he moves up the Cool Vibe stairs, looking and waiting for anyone that tries to over-aggress, but I don't think Ape have stationed anyone too close over in that area. The vertical angle here opened up by the impact. Looking for someone. Felt Winter. He knows Legion's inside of luggage. The goo mine will give that away as it's tossed around, but Felt Winter does not choose to aggress. Instead, it'll be Splash for his second kill.
Well, Felt Winter will find another Forest, gonna hit the deck as Yoga finds double. One onto Xeno and one onto Splash, removing the Ash and the Sledge from play. But Apollo has something to say about that. That's Jay, the next to fall. It's gonna be all up to Yoga. He's upstairs trying to find the feet of one, but it will not deliver anything more than a couple of pot shots onto the feet. And that's gonna allow Rexevi to get that plant down. and start working it into a post-plan situation. Yoga's going to have a player to contend with down main stairs, and that's going to be Felt Winter. The headshot onto Yoga is enough for the Gatekeepers to take round 1 in a pretty decisive fashion.
Yeah, they move swiftly, leaving no room to breathe for Ape. They'll have to completely rotate their strategy now that they recognize that the Gatekeepers are leaving nothing up to chance. It's an all-out aggressive style of siege that they intend to play, and they executed it so well. This is the aggressive nature that we know from T3 teams. Hopefully it should continue, at least for the sake of the Gatekeepers. Hookah Lounge and Billiards is the switch. No reattempt at a kitchen or service site. You forgot the 6-pick, though. From the Mute on to the Malusi, which is curious. You can slow things down, and I ideally say that's what you want to do, considering how fast the Gatekeepers move. Wasting no time, Ape have got off to a rocky start.
Well, Reese, I think you predicted it beautifully when you said that Coastline was the perfect map for this Dark Horse team like Gatekeepers to come out in a explosive fashion. And that they did. I mean, Splash was into offices, into Blue Bar within 15 seconds of the round beginning, and already was delivering some very big impact frags. So that is a, huge statement that Gatekeepers have made in round number 1. But Ape, they're a very mature roster. They know exactly what they need to do here, adapt to that aggression, and that is no doubt why we see the Malusi as our 6th pick. But Melted, he's not going to waste any time continuing that aggression. That did not work out for him that first round, looking towards Ruins, but Splash again contesting that, and will remove the Vigil from that position. With 2 minutes 40 still just getting into this round, we are going to see the attackers do a little bit slower of a take here, at least for the time being, working on that information, getting that drone work going, and not going too crazy just yet.
Here comes Splash, displaying his mechanics. Melted is holding passively, still inside of security. He'll rotate, goes for the pre-fire. The Ash has not yet moved fully inside of Blue Bar, holding the angle. The trace of Melted through the wall, tempting Splash to move further and clear this player out. You just want to play keep away here if you're Ape. Don't give up any of these opportunities. Don't take a gunfight that you're not confident in. Here comes Yaga, though. He's going to swing the Jackal inside a penthouse. Seems like they know each other's positions. Hesitant to take the fires just yet. Rexevi, the swing from the Mozzie! Yaga will get it, melted onto Felt Winter, and Apollo finds Forest. Flurry of kills to come through, but Ape find themselves with the advantage. Splash now downed as well. It's a 4v2. Melted confirms it for the double kill. The rappel, so unfortunate it'll get melted anyway, though, and Apollo for 2. A 3v2, all things considered. Ape in the advantage with little time to go.
Yes, with 1:20, the attackers still have, ample time to work with when it comes down to this execute, but these remaining Ape defenders, they're going to have something to say about that. We've got that Mozzie playing in pink, just using those drones with that smoke to assist him to smoke out that default plant if needed. You can use those smokes, clip that through the wall, and seal off that default plant. Now the defenders are fully aware of this Gatekeepers push. That's going to be one to fall, though. Apollo with a beautiful long-range shot onto Callout, playing all the way over in Hookah. The smokes continue to delay, but with 50 seconds left, the smokes are coming out just a bit early. It's going to be all up to Yaga and Jay, who are both stacked up here in pink. The nades come out. The flashes, here comes Sublime, but they're going to avoid the full white for now. Here comes a C4, will not connect, as now they're going to both be aggressively swinging this angle, just waiting for these Gatekeepers attackers to push on in, but they're just waiting. They're biding their time with under 30 seconds to go. No push has come through. Yago finds one, but Apollo answers. Here comes the swing. It's going to be Zeno. He will win it, and Jay will get taken down, and the Gatekeepers, they come back in a big way, and they win round number 2.
Huge clutch up there between Apollo and Zeno. Confident and calm. They played it collected, and they win the 2v3. That'll take Gatekeepers up by another one. This aggressive style of siege, simply, it's the attackers taking the advantage. The mechanics, the gun skill, the firearms, everything goes their way. 2 rounds in a row. Ape searching for some type of strategy that'll work in their favor, Blue Bar and Sunrise comes up next, and Ape just have to take that advantage and hold on to it. Don't go for a peek when you don't need to. If Melted had just held safe, remained in that 4v2, there would have been no need for the clutch to happen, and it wouldn't have largely been successful, I don't imagine. But Bars is a very strange style of bomb site. There's not a lot like it in Siege. Usually the A site is just kind of considered null. You can't play in there. A lot of teams will elect to do what I imagine Callout soon will begin, and that's shoot open the floor heading into the courtyard. You want to make sure you've got those footholes open so that once the gatekeepers attempt to push in from office to go for that plant, you can have one of your teammates rotate around to try and deny that. Usually we'll see the hard breach become more of a question on this site that could affect the gatekeepers because they aren't bringing any of it. Nothing as far as a primary gadget or a secondary.
Well, what I love about the way Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar really plays out is it doesn't just play as a bomb site. The whole map really plays as the objective here because you need complete map control as the attackers to get an effective push going. Sure, you could take advantage of some lapses in defensive focus here or there, but for the most part, you need to have full map control on either side if you're going to want to win this, and it's going to be all about how fast the attackers can actually get this push going onto the site. They're going to need vertical control, they're going to need control of main lobby, and then they're going to need control of kitchen, and then eventually control of the site. If they want to go for that offices plant, you need to remove the defenders in main lobby. If you want to go for the Sunrise plant, you need to remove the players from hookah. All of these valuable positions that the defenders are no doubt going to be holding very tough are going to be challenging for gatekeepers to force them out of. But right now, gatekeepers have proven that they can do exactly that they can take a site and they can do it decisively, even if they're down the man count. So a minute into this round, and Rexevi is going to be the first to take out the Ape defender of Callout. That's going to be the Mute, the first to fall.
Rexevi opens this one up, and that's exactly what you need to get this ball rolling. What has just happened? It's a flurry of kills. The gatekeepers are on their way. Oh my word, what a fast round for number 3. Ape falling apart every which way. Things are looking dire for this first split.
What in the world just happened? We blinked and the round was over. It looks like the calls for the rehost are coming. No matter what site Ape went to, it was the gatekeepers who just put on a stomping. But now, Ape have had the time to regroup, like you said, Reese. So we're going to have to keep an eye on what exactly they're going to change here.
Well, the first sign of change is the Mira being played here by Yaga. He was previously on kind of a Mozzie role. Specifically, I remember that gunfight he took. I want to say that was on the hookah round, or it may have even been pretty certain it was the hookah round. He was roaming over by 90. He was peeking towards Rexevi playing the Jackal inside a penthouse. He ended up winning that gunfight. And actually, it's a 6-pick, so he still is on the Mozzie, not changing anything. I wonder if the Mira was kind of a bait. Typically, you wouldn't pick a Mira if you're going to be playing on hookah again. If you want to take a look at this composition here for the gatekeepers, they've got a pretty well-rounded lineup. It's hard to go wrong with the operator picks when you're on coastline. It tends to allow you to be a little bit more I think you can introduce more variety. When you play on a map like Coastline, you can have a buck more often because you're not so focused on consistently bringing a hard breacher, and as well, the Jackal.
Attackers are heading out to defuse.
Yeah, I mean, look at this roster from the gatekeepers. Every single one of these operators could be considered a fragger op on a map that's not Coastline. You know, if you pick these guys on any other map, those are going to be your players that are going to be entering and getting those early frags. But this time, the early frag is going to go to the hands of Yaga. He's going to take down Splash, and that oppressive Ash, the R4C with all that utility now, going to be shut down early in round number 4.
Well, I guess we figured out what they talked about during the rehost. Let's fight fire with fire. A kill onto Splash. And now Jay tapping onto the head of Apollo. 5v3. The advantage far in the favor of Ape. A big turning point for them. The terrorist hunts have been completed. The aim is back in session. And everybody is loaded into the lobby. We're fighting at full strength now here for Ape. and they might just be able to string a few rounds together. The Gatekeepers got to fight back, get these refrags, and at least try to move this man advantage somewhere closer to a 3v4, but that does not look like the path and the direction we're taking. Rexevi down, confirmed. Another one to swing, and it's a pre-fire! What a spray transfer there for Forrest. 2 headshots. Rexevi and Feltwinter will fall. Zeno goes down after getting a kill onto Ape, and what a way to shift the balance of power.
I love the way you said it, Reese. Fight fire with fire, and that is exactly what Ape just did. They came out hot. They came out aggressive, and they came out ready to pick some heads. And holy moly, that shot from Forrest, the pre-fire flick over to Guitar Hall of Fame door there in the master bedroom. I mean, that was simply incredible, and a great response from Ape, a dominant response, and that is just the way to put Gatekeepers in their place.
Yeah, talk about putting them in their place. What a way to win round number 4. More performances like that are exactly what Ape needs if they want to fight back and make Coastline their map. We'll be heading now to Kitchen. We will see the Mira stuck in this round. Rather it be Yaga, it's actually Jay. Yaga remains on that flex role. This time he's bringing the T5, similar to the performance that you would see from the Roni on the Mozzie, and we'll see the Legion played in combination to slow things down with callouts Malusi. So you've got your Banshees hopefully being used to slow down the Gatekeepers. We know how fast they get, but that's kind of besides the point. We need to first take a look at where are we peaking? Where are the runouts from Ape? It doesn't seem like they are very plentiful. Maybe Yaga down by the main door. He thinks the better of it instead to rotate over by Office. I don't think they're going to be very directly aggressive, instead lying in wait to be the reactionary just as soon as the Gatekeepers try to push the issue into the objective, or rather building itself.
Well, already we see the attackers starting to mount over here on Offices. The drones come out, and so does the pre-fire. They know Yaga is here. Not sure if they know about the Vigil, though. He can evade those drones using his gadget here. Here comes Yaga. He'll swing, but penalized by Apollo. This over-aggression from both teams is just ridiculous. Here goes Melted. He's peeking back and forth. Pre-fires come out, but he gets penalized again. It's Feltwinter with the kill. Splash takes out All Out, and there goes the roam presence. It's all up to the players over on site, but Forrest is now rotated upstairs, looking to also get this roam going, but Jay now already running all over the place and is now peeking himself as Splash takes down Forrest. Jay finds 1, finds 2, the flick, but Feltwinter denies it, and Jay will be the final to fall, and the Gatekeepers will answer back in as strong of a fashion as Ape did the previous round.
This is the single most aggressive Coastline I have seen and ever casted in my entire career. The way that both of these teams are playing can only be described as the ranked run-out mentality. We're going to go full balls to the wall aggression in every single round, and it seems whoever takes the advantage on those opening aggressive run-out gunfights tends to take the advantage all the way home to the objective. In the previous round, Ape fell. They lost out too early, and ultimately the Gatekeepers just got the rest of the kills. A dire performance. Jay tried to battle it back there. He got 2 for his troubles inside of the Sunrise Bar, but ultimately that was not enough to defeat the remaining members of Gatekeepers, and you've got to just keep paying attention. It's kind of refreshing in some respects to see this style of siege, because not often do rounds end before 1 minute in.
I mean, these last 2 rounds have been over, it seems like, before we even get halfway through them, and that is, well, it is incredible to see this ridiculous change in the normal siege meta, where we have to kill 3 minutes before the kills come down in the final 20 seconds of the round. But this aggression is interesting, to say the least. It's very interesting. There's not a lot of strategy behind it. It's just a lot of just try to take your ones and win them, and if you do, we'll win the round. Right now, Gatekeepers have come out on top. Since the rehost, it's 1-1 though, so Ape still have the ability to take some of these rounds here. But the thing I see right now, Reese, that I really do despise is Splash going with the Blackbeard. He really can never respect that pick. Jay's gonna
Jay.
TK Yaga, likely in response to the atrocious Blackbeard pick from Splash. He got so sad, he took off the head of his teammate. Splash on the Blackbeard will be taking out Jay as well. So just like that, APE are down 2.
I got this!
Well, the Gatekeepers didn't even have to do the most in this round because the kills were given right to them. Feltwinter gets call out, and now it's just Melted and Forest. Seems like a lot of the players on Gatekeepers are feeling themselves, but so too is Melted, with 2 back-to-back headshots gunning both the Blackbeard and the Jackal. Say goodbye, Splash and Xeno. A 2v3. A run out, here comes Forest. Spinning around the corner, he spots the long angle. Rexevi falls, it's a 2v2. We've got Melted still hiding out deeper within the objective. Apollo rotates now to the cantina, waiting just outside that balcony with a window. Melted on low HP, Forest taking a bit of hurt himself, and Apollo will likely find the first gunfight here. Melted sitting passively in the pink window. Apollo lit up, I believe, just shortly there. Here comes Forest. Goes for the wall bang, tries to connect the shots. You've still got Feltwinter waiting at the office door to move into the blue bar. There's a mirror window, not staffed by any of these members, though. So this should be him watching the flank. He moves on in, goes for the pre-fire. You want to make sure you don't get peeked by Forest after we saw that wonderful spray transfer earlier. Melted goes down. It's just Forest remaining. He gets the double kill, swinging around the corner. He's clearing every angle, looking for Feltwinter. Plenty of utility, though, left, as we have talked about ad nauseum. This is not a utility game. It's all frags for Coastline. Melted likely not to be revived. Forest tagged up so low, but Feltwinter feels some pain himself. Rotating around, he tries to go for the res. They're both up. It's prone on the floor. Feltwinter for 2. The Gatekeepers take round number 6. A 5-1 split.
Well, this is playing out very, very uniquely. Let's just put it and leave it there, because I mean, wow. The Gatekeepers just put on a performance as well. There we saw the 1v2 clutch in those closing seconds. APE should not be losing those moments, but right now it's just that the Gatekeepers are just getting the better of them, and I have no idea how it's actually working, but it is. The unbridled aggression from both of these teams is going largely unpunished. Sometimes they get a trade or 2, but mostly these are kills without refrags. It's simply 1v1 gunfights, followed by 1v1 gunfights, and then you sprinkle in a couple of more 1v1 gunfights, and then that's your round. And then the round is over, and we see who's victorious at the end of those ones. Right now, it's the Gatekeepers who are on top.
Very well could change. We'll see Apes find some success now that they pick up the attack. These operator lineups are not changing all too much, at least for the attack. Got the Jackal for that roam clear as far as Ape. We've also got the Nomad, who hasn't seen the most important ones, because we haven't seen really any considerable flanks, because the attack, they are not setting up for executes. They're just moving in and getting the kills. It's not like we're seeing, 3 people stacked up on a door like it's a SWAT raid. No, it's everybody just dodging back and forth, jiggle peeking windows, doors, holding down mouse button, and, just waiting until things are done for. Splash on the Rook, the long angle for him. There's one player nearing his gun sights, but they will choose to walk a different direction, going up to the hookah balcony. Maybe a bit of a pre-fire coming through from him, but no dice just yet.
Well, we do see that Mozzie in play once again, this time from the Gatekeeper side. That's going to be Rexevi on the Mozzie. Good for that information and the information denial. Speaking of information, we have Feltwinter playing that pulse from below. This is the first time we're seeing a pulse, seeing more of a, controlled defense here. Maybe not full unbridled aggression. Rexevi, though, he'll get aggressive, but he'll be forced to retreat all the way back towards Cool Vibes. Apollo going to take quite a bit of damage. Apollo trying to trade some pot shots all the way down towards the penthouse, but will not connect with anybody just yet. Feltwinter now fully aware of where this push is coming from. He has 3 on the heartbeat scanner. Just a matter of time before this C4 comes up through the floor. Unfortunately, it's not fully destructible, so now his teammate will throw that C4, but unfortunately for him, the Ash going to back off, move around, not to somewhere where that C4 can find him, but Forest will find Splash. That's a good early pick for this Ape attack. That's going to be the Rook with that 2-time scope, the first to fall.
The tempo changer here. Yaga will take out Apollo, and now it's a 5v3. Ape have got this advantage. They may very well take the round. We'll have something to look at afterwards, though. So, still holding inside of Hookah. Him and Rexevi not having the strongest performance since that rehost. Jay will fall, though. This is a 4v3, and Ape don't have their significant man advantage. And Nitro from below, though the Ash moves. She'll still die anyway. Now a 3v3 Gatekeepers playing the trade game, something we haven't seen way too much of here for Coastline. They'll manage to equalize it. A flash tossed in. Felt Winter. Bit of damage dealt to him, but still playing it passive. Ape have got to get something going for them. Stacking up inside of Aqua Bar. There's only so much you can do, simply waiting here as Callout positions himself out on the Hookah balcony.
Well, now Forrest gonna rotate around. The Jackal scans, not revealing any more footsteps because all of the defenders have now rotated back to site. He'll deliver the kill on a Rexevi, though the Mozzie will fall. Call out. A lot of shots. Tau taking down Zeno, down but not out. Now Forrest will tease his plan. Here comes Feltwinter on the swing, but he gets swung first, and that's Call out, who will deliver the blow on a Zeno and Forrest, taking down Feltwinter. So that's a good response from Ape. They got another round, a round that they desperately needed, and they're gonna have to start racking up round after round if they want to claw their way back.
Exactly. And that's the point that I want to hit on. You've got your win. It's 2v5. So the Gatekeepers can, at any moment, suddenly seize match point. Ape have got to play this very carefully, but at the same time, they have to play kind of loose and aggressive-like, because that's the entirety of the style of Siege that is being played here for Coastline. It's aggressive picks, getting those frags, and taking people down when it counts. Bit of a kind of a spin of Operators call out, showing us here between a 6-pick to the Capital, and now onto the Habana that he will stick. This is the Operator, really the only viable hard breacher that's left unbanned here with Ace taken out. You would like to be able to apply some pressure onto the Drinks wall. We might not even see that come down as being consequential, though, because Gatekeepers might just play frags and not even play inside of Drinks at large. They have the smoke, though, which makes me think that they're probably going to try and hold this off, play it a bit more slowly. You've got Zeno on the Malusi as well, which also does contribute to that slowdown meta. But as I mentioned, Ape need to find some consistency here. A round win on number 8 is not optional.
You're absolutely right. It's definitely a requirement for Ape that they get this going. They need to bring back some of that momentum. They've got to find some way to grasp that momentum that they need to take this one back 2-5. They've got a 3-round deficit, and this is a hungry and fast and powerful Gatekeepers roster. They're looking to stop Ape from gaining any traction, from getting any momentum. They're looking to shut this down. Feltwinter will be back on that pulse, using that heartbeat sensor to figure out where that push is coming from. We are going to be heading back to Hookah and Billiards, so we're going to be doubling up on that site. Don't usually like to see the same site again unless you're going to change something up massively, but just taking a look at our operator selection, looks like not much is going to change. Rexevi, once again, optimizing that aggression, prioritizing that. We do see the Jackal tracks go out as Callout tries to get that pre-fire, but he won't deliver the fatal blow, as one will escape with their lives. But here we go, it's Yaga working his way fully in from the east side of the map, and now with pretty much clear top floor control, this site pressure is going to start to mount.
You need to remember that they played Nitros below Aquabar previously, and this is a very heavy roam team. You don't want to overexpose yourselves and leave yourself vulnerable. Rexevi may be looking to point that out with his White Stairs flank, a possibility in the future of round number 8. Zeno will go to melee the wall. I don't know if they have anything protecting this. You would hope that one of the air jabs melted deployed is stationed here. No claymores across the board to protect it. Maybe even just a flank drone, something to protect this. Rexevi will bail off, though. Rather than double down and go aggressive, he will combo with Feltwinter still below, the Nitro cell in hand, waiting for the intel.
Well, the intel does come out, as do the soft pings. C4 is prepped, but will not be detonated. Waiting for the call. Here it goes. It will not deliver the damage onto any of these players, as now Feltwinter will be left alone. His own C4 is going to have to do the work. Yaga and Forrest taking a lot of damage, but Callout with a double kill. Apollo and Zeno to fall. Splash answers, but Callout as a response. Rexevi hits the deck, and it's all up to Feltwinter. He's gonna have to find 4. The UMP is not enough. You can't hit the body with that gun. It's too slow, and it's too low damaging, and that's gonna be enough for APE to take back-to-back rounds and start to mount this pressure.
APE with consistency in both the opening frags and their objective take. That's exactly what is necessary now, standing with a 2-round gap before they can equalize and put themselves on 5-5. With this win, it just becomes a little bit more possible. APE have shown their ability to diversify their strategies, be adaptable on the fly, and move quickly to react to the aggressive style that the Gatekeepers are playing. If APE can perform well enough to take this split with a solid performance, it might be all over but the crying for the Gatekeepers. If APE take this map, I don't know if I see a Cafe or an Oregon going to the Gatekeepers, who have suddenly started to cool off and lose a bit of that steam after their crazy performance on the first split.
Well, something we got to talk about here, Reese, is the way these rounds are unfolding and who is becoming victorious just based on the clock. If the round ends in a minute and a half, the Gatekeepers have won that almost every single time. But if these rounds are playing more traditional, if they're playing like the strat book says they're going to play out, if the 20-second meta comes to fruition, it is APE that seem to be prevailing. Often the attacking team can dictate the pace of a round, and APE have been taking that pace, the pace that they like to play at, a slower, more traditional, a methodical approach, and that's been working and paying dividends for them.
Spot on there with the point. We'll have Yaga. He's gonna be dropping a little bit of BM in response to the Blackbeard we saw earlier, and if he finds success, I think Gatekeepers are going to be a little bit sorry that they tempted their fate by bringing that Blackbeard and giving Yaga the perfect mandate and, frankly, the permission to bring this operator. Blackbeard can be lethal in the right hands, and simply because he gives you just a tiny bit more in the category of the reaction time, that's what makes Blackbeard so good. Both of his weapons, maybe they shoot a bit slower if you're looking at the Scar H, but they hit like a truck.
Well, yeah, sure, you have a more reaction time if you're Blackbeard. Not to mention, you have a piece of glass in front of your face where you don't have to worry about getting shot in the head just right away. But the first pick is going to come out. It's going to be Feltwinter to hit the deck. The Vigil and the top fragger for the Gatekeepers right now will be the first to fall. A minute 50, this is good progress for the attack, already picking off these defenders as we see Rexevi and Zeno both just running around downstairs trying to figure out exactly where they should be positioned, but Splash knows where to be positioned, and that'll be Jay, the next to find his grave. So still, a 4v4 equalized man count now with a minute 30 to play, but it's Yaga now peeking this service door, just looking to find anybody willing to swing into the face shield of the Blackbeard.
Well, it seems Apollo doesn't even need to swing. The Jackal track, the scan detects him, Yaga reacts and gets the double kill. Gatekeepers have got to keep this close. If they can fight it back to a 3v3, I think it's looking good for them. The Blackbeard is still a concern, and that shield is trolling the aim of the player on site. Melted cuts down Splash, so no more frags for the Malusi. Zeno goes for the run-up. Does he spot the Blackbeard? He does. Downs confirmed. Yaga is dead. A 3v2 with APE conservative in their advantage. Rexevi guns down Melted, though, so this is now just a little bit looking up. You've got to fight this, fight it back. Call out, trying to move in over by the main door. You still got Forrest prone and waiting. We will see him move in now, I think jumping up on the table. So you've got the vertical advantage, double teaming with your teammate. The Jackal might try to go for the plant here. That would be the nightmare scenario. And now with this wall open, looking good, Rexevi moves forward. The plant is going deep, and it should be successful. No denial here. The Jackal moving back. The reload giving him the perfect opportunity for the flank.
Well, now it's a post-plant situation, and with the service door, the perfect place to hang out, there's not a lot the Gatekeepers are going to be able to do here. They know where the diffuser is, but there's still a smoke in their faces. Forrest gets the advantage in that gunfight. He'll find 2, and there it is. Zeno gets taken down as well, and 8 are starting to mount this comeback, taking 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, here it is. Maybe it was looking a bit dire for them. All they needed was the side switch, and they built a solid 3-round streak. Now standing within 1 round of equalization, I imagine the spirits were high for the Gatekeepers emerging that first half. Not so much after these 3 wins. That's one thing you've got to keep under control. Winning these rounds, denying Ape the execute, and as well denying them the plant. It's all looking up for Ape. The Gatekeepers have some serious work to do because Ape are not, getting worse. These rounds aren't getting closer. In fact, I think it's almost the opposite. Ape have, for the first time in the entire duration of this map, gotten a plant down. They came close on that first hookah attack. Now they're successful and they played it expertly.
Well, Yaga is going to do his worst to BM this team as hard as they can. He's going to bring out the Blackbeard once again, but in my opinion, it is deserved. The Gatekeepers, they started it, so it's going to be punished round after round. Yaga just, if you have a face shield, there's no reason not to bring that operator when there's money on the line, when there's glory on the line. Might as well bring the Blackbeard out. Now, we do see the similar setup going down, this time more utility devoted to that top floor hold. Because that top floor control was so oppressive from the Ape attack last round, this is how Gatekeepers are going to try to adapt a little bit, putting more effort into that top-down extension rather than that west to east or full bottom floor extension. Rexevi is still running around constantly trying to get aggressive and trying to find some picks, but since the rehost, Rexevi has been pretty much shut down.
That's a good point to mention. Rexevi is very notorious for his performances. A lot of people like to say that Rexevi gets on a heater on game days, but sometimes when it comes down to the regular season, he's not fully awake at the wheel. The first split, he was absolutely, going off, but you've already identified him. He's 2-5. He's not been consistent. We'll see what the test is, who wins it, between the Nomad, the ARX, and Rexevi with the Roni. He will fall back down. Now sandwiched between 2 players, the drone feeding him constant intel. He doesn't know where to go, running back and forth between jungle, rounding the corner. The Hibana gets it quickly. Call out with the bearing 9, eliminates Rexevi, and he goes down without any more frags.
Well, that is exactly how you punish an over-aggressive roamer, and it was beautifully handled from Ape. A typical, perfect, clinical roam clear is what we just saw there, removing the Mozzie from play. And now it's Apollo who's just going to pick up and throw down and pick up and throw down his goo mine, trying to fit it through those slats in the floor. Eventually, he will do so, but his position is likely known. And now Splash getting very aggressive here on this breach into Sunrise Bar, now forced to back off a little bit, but right now he's looking to find anybody. Again, the Gatekeepers, they have not stopped being aggressive since they found that early success. Even though Ape are punishing that aggression now, the Gatekeepers are sticking to what they know, and that is the swing or be swung game. Feltwinter's doing it right now. He'll swing. Jay will get taken down, though, by one player, and they'll be finished off. Callout takes down Zeno. Melted as well finds a follow-up, but a great shot there. Yaga when the Blackbeard taking down Splash. Apollo finally gets a delivering blow onto the down player, but it's Forrest to clean things up. And Ape, with 4 rounds in a row, will finally tie us up at 5.
It's been crushing these past rounds for the Gatekeepers, who cannot muster anything up. And Ape aren't done yet. Still with 2 more attacking rounds to go. That could very well mean either overtime or maybe things go back and forth. Maybe the Gatekeepers get their stride finally going, but after 4 rounds in a row from Ape, I don't know if I see that happening. The T2 Challenger League team are at their full fighting strength. The momentum is on their side, and they are almost ready to secure their opponent's map pick. With this one in the bag, I don't know about you, but the future of this series seems pretty well evident.
I got to agree with you, Reese. At the beginning of this, that 3-0, it seemed that the Gatekeepers could run away with this, but Ape, they've answered back in a huge way. They've responded. They've really shown everyone there's no need to doubt Ape. They know what they're doing. They have what it takes to play at the highest level of Siege, and the Gatekeepers are going to be no problem for them. No one is going to stand in their way between themselves and that $2,500 grand, that prize pool at the end of this monthly tournament. But we're headed into round 11. Ape are on a tear. They've got the momentum after 4 rounds in a row. The Gatekeepers are on their last breath. They haven't found any site that works for them on defense yet, so they're still trying to find the kitchen traction, going here 3 times in a row. But Ape have done this perfectly both times we've seen kitchen. There's no reason to suspect otherwise. The only way the Gatekeepers are going to be able to bring this back is if they play a little bit differently. The aggression is simply not working anymore. Ape have seen it. They're punishing it, and they're just taking control every second. So the Gatekeepers, while it may not be their strategy, I think the only way for them to get this back, and for the future maps potentially, is to play a little bit more of that meta game.
And as a pickup team for the Gatekeepers, I'm not sure if they're capable of that. I feel like the aggressiveness that they employed during that first split was their best bet, because Ape know how to play against a team with structure, being that they have so much Challenger League experience, and, you know, even more so above Challenger League. And so, you know, when you look at that, you kind of have to say, where do we go from here? If Gatekeepers try to play more structure, I think that gives Ape the advantage. But the aggressiveness isn't working either, so what do? I think it does count a lot as far as the opening picks. If you get to play aggressive, you find the opener. That's what we saw propel Gatekeepers a lot of times with the success. They would get the opener, and then they would get one more, maybe Ape threw in a frag here or there, but ultimately, once Gatekeepers get the ball rolling, I feel like that's when they have the most success, not in these man-down situations where they have to fight it back.
I mean, that is absolutely spot on. It's hard to give, you know, to find something that could work for the Gatekeepers, because, you know, Ape just, they know how to play both ways right now. They can counter the aggression, and they can counter the strategy. But the Gatekeepers are going to have to come up with something. It's round number 11. We've got a minute to go. They've done a good job delaying this Ape push. I mean, all 10 members are on the board, so Ape have yet to make this progress that we've seen them make in most of these previous rounds. But Melted, he will deliver the kill on the splash. Rexevi the next to fall. Call out on the delivering end, and Melted with the double onto Fellwinter. It's all collapsing for the Gatekeepers right now. The refrags are not coming out, and it is Ape who are just too strong right now. Zeno is now stuck in a brutal position. The vertical plays coming out. He'll escape with his life. The drone does identify his position, so he'll have to just scramble around and pretty much run around and try to figure out exactly where he could position, but he is stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I think Zeno is as good as dead as soon as someone from Ape gets outside that service door. Melted drops down the hatch. He gets cut out. Apollo onto Melted, and Zeno finds Yaga, but that's not for long, as it's just the Legion, the last hope of his team to spare themselves from their opponent taking match point. So much hurt here, failing to take out Forrest. Apollo trying to sit as tucked into that corner as possible. The prone angle, Forrest will get it. Ape will race forth to match point.
Whew, what a round there from Ape. It was looking like they weren't gaining that traction that we've seen them gain in those previous kitchen attacks, but with 45 seconds to go, all of a sudden, the scoreboard lights up, the frags all go in their favor, and Gatekeepers, well, they had no answer for that Ape push. I mean, it was beautifully done. They took their time. It was methodical. They got the information, and then they delivered the executions. And that's exactly what Ape have done so well in these last few rounds, and I have no doubt they are going to continue that as we continue forward. We're headed into match point. It's round number 12, and we're going to be on Hookah and Billiards, a site that Ape have won the attack on in the first 2 rounds of this split.
I could honestly, for Ape, see that round materializing as a win. I mean, you just had Melted sitting up there on the roof. There were 3 roamers from the Gatekeepers trying to go from west to east. There was only 2 passageways you could get that done. Through the hallway we see Feltwinter and Splash currently traversing, or by flanking in and coming to luggage. There was an air jab locking off the luggage door, and we had already seen Melted firing down on the corner here by Vase, locking off the rotates. The Gatekeepers knew they had to come in from luggage, and you saw how that went. The player tried to prone, tried to get rid of the air jab, Melted gunned him down. Another one tried to rotate, he got that one too. And even though he died after eventually dropping down to go for the rotate, Ape had already secured that round effectively by starting off with the opening picks. You've got to watch Gatekeepers, watch those opening kills, because I can almost guarantee you whoever wins the first 2 gunfights and goes up 5-3 will take this round.
Well, we've got the defenders now grouping up, trying to have a little bit of a powwow here before we get into round number 12. That's going to be Apollo and Splash both lurking on this guitar, this Hall of Fame door, waiting for this push to come into their open arms. But Splash now going to back off, going to hang out with this C4, looking for that kill onto that top main window there. We see the Nomad on the rappel. But right now, we see the Blackbeard once again. That's going to be Yaga slowly rappelling up towards that VIP balcony, getting that done in that manner. But Splash now waiting for this push to come through, but the wall bangs are coming his way as the drones are going to suss out his position. It's going to be Splash to deliver the opening kill onto Jay. Splash now still getting pressure from all sides, but he emerged victorious in that first gunfight. Will he be able to prevail in a second? He's got the pistol in hand. He's going to jump out this window. No, he'll think better of it, and he'll run downstairs, evading that death. But Feltwinter, he won't evade it. That's going to be Melted, taking down the Pulse.
This is the first round of the entire duration of the second split that we see Gatekeepers take the opening fight. Forrest has gotten 1, Callout has gotten 2, Yaga and Melted round out for rounds 8 and 10. And it's just one sign of life, of hope for the Gatekeepers. With the Blackbeard and Melted, the Nomad, on low HP, you have some hope still lying here. No gas canisters to stall the push, though. So once Ape get going, it will be hard to press on the brakes here if you're the Gatekeepers and you're trying to stall this attack. We'll see Apollo. He's thinking about it to go for the swing onto Yaga, who waits inside of luggage, searching for an opportunity. The pre-fire again, the swing comes through. Zeno on the backup. Yaga taking a bit of punishment. I think another shield put on. Apollo guns down Melted. That's the 2 kills you need. The shield will break. The Blackbeard gives it up, but it's too late. He goes down. Yaga falls. This is looking like an overtime match with Forrest on the floor. 4 players to kill and call out to get the big clutch.
Well, that's a triple kill from Apollo, and that's probably just enough for the Gatekeepers to eke their way back and secure an overtime performance here. They responded in kind to this Ape aggression, and there it goes. Splash will take out Callout. And just like that, we will be seeing round number 13. We will be seeing overtime on Coastline.
Drives the storyline further to home. Both of these sides going so well in the favor of the attackers. 5 attacks, 5 wins on the first split. Same thing for the second one. And so literally dueling performances. Almost the exact same thing. The main difference is that Ape won 5 rounds in a row starting the split, and it was only that single final one that they were able to win. The victory we saw come out from Ape was just after the rehost. From what I remember, they were able to kind of kick things off. It sort of looked like a comeback might have been mounting. It wasn't, though. It wasn't to be. They lost the next 2 rounds, and they only were able to get the ball into their court once we saw them switch onto the attack and assume that position. The Frost pick. Okay.
Okay, so Yaga is with the Blackbeard picks. He's bringing out the Frost picks. Maybe this is what Ape needs to get some defensive victories. They are going to be on defense for 2 of those 3 overtime rounds if it gets that far. So I guess that's what Yaga is thinking here. Try to delay that push even more. Can't jump in any windows. Don't run up any staircases without checking every single floor angle for those little cheeky frost mats that can really put a trap in you and end your day as an aggressive attack. We're actually heading... Didn't really notice this until just now. We're going to be on the penthouse and theater site. This is an interesting pick, to say the least. We've got a bunch of interesting stuff going on here. Basically, Ape are pulling out all the stops to try to prevent this Gatekeepers attack for absolutely storming through them like they did on that first split.
Here goes Melted on the default cam. He's looking for a potential rappel. You can see 1 player all the way down there. I think that'd be the sledge of Zeno. Melted will go aggressive, watching for the rappel wire. He spots the sledge and he gets it! What an opening kill! He did what Gatekeepers could not on the aggressive VIP run out. Zeno is gone. Ape with the advantage.
Well, that's exactly what Ape needed to start off round number 13. The momentum getting quashed from this Gatekeepers attack, and that is all they have had on these attacks. They haven't had strategy, they haven't had too much coordination, they've just had the ability to frag. But Melted gonna find another and shut that down. Melted really putting on a show in round number 13. Call out gets taken down very low as Rexevi gets the final shot onto Yaga, so the Frost will no longer be on the board. And now the attacking squad is surely aware that the frost mats are going to have to be something to worry about here. Splash now working their way up towards this rotate. The drone will get those positions revealed, but Callout tosses out those toxic babes, but Splash will swing and take down Forest. Another! That's a double kill for Splash, but it'll be traded off by Jay. A 2v2 with a minute 30 to go, but the shots from Jay are too much for Felt Winter to handle. It's going to be all up for Rexevi. He's got a 1v2 situation. The M7E, the C7E rather, a very good gun in this situation. He's got the 2x scope, but does he have the ability to find these two picks onto Melted and to Jay? Only time will tell. With ample time to work with, though, he's got the diffuser in hand, so he could make this one happen here, but he's going to just wait for the time to tick away and wait for these Ape defenders to swing into his open arms, but they're not going to do that. Oh, he spots the gun. He's going to spot the one player hiding behind the bomb chassis, but the final shots are not delivered. Oh, we might be able to get the arm. Jay, what are you doing there, man? Hide behind that bomb better. Otherwise, he's gonna get fragged out, but Rexevi still looking for this pick. A lot of shots coming down, but it's Melted with the 3K and the final blow to give Ape the round they needed.
We didn't have to wait long to find out the result of that one. Ape win the defense in overtime. So important. With only 3 rounds of OT, winning that defense is imperative. Now all Ape have to do is secure an attack win. We've seen them take 5 so far of the 6 played. Penthouse and Theater will be the bomb site for both of these first 2 overtime rounds, as the Gatekeepers are going to give it their best shot. You have to talk about Melted, though. On that round, his openers contributed solely the largest amount of momentum, of fragging power, shutting down Zeno, doubling to get a second. It's so important. Those opening frags have been the defining feature of Coastline.
I mean, it's Coastline. It's an aggressive, frag-heavy, attacker-heavy map, and that's exactly what we've seen tonight. But we haven't just seen that. It's been to an extreme that Coastline does not usually see. On our first half, we saw the most aggression out of both of these teams that we have seen all day, maybe all year. This aggression has been unbridled, unstoppable, and just purely calculated. But Ape have found their way to respond, and that has led them to match point in overtime. They had got the 7-6 lead heading into round 14, and to respond, the Gatekeepers are going to try to pull out all the stops just like Ape did. They don't have a Frost, but they do have elected to go to the Penthouse and Theater, trying to bring out something that Ape may not expect.
Yeah, pulling a leaf out of the Ape book by doing literally the exact same thing, except for a difference in terms of the strategy. And Apollo is going to look and do what we saw Melted get in the VIP run out. He's much more careful about it. I think he recognizes the importance of the opening frag. Ape has the perfect coverage. All they need to do is really bait him out here. If Apollo goes aggressive and they shut him down, that would be gigantic. And it just could almost net them the win just in that single kill. As we see the rest of the attackers move in. Apollo holding the bomb chassis angle. If Ape get the knowledge of this, someone could easily move onto the rappel. A Z-ping could mean his end. We'll just have to wait and see if that should be the case. You've also got the dilemma. If Splash recognizes that Yaga's on this rappel, if he's correct in his aim and he goes for the run out, he may just get a nice freebie.
We do see Melted on the Nomad, so those air jabs are going to be placed down to prevent those runouts, as will the Jackal tracking scan. That's going to be Splash fully revealed and sussed out. They know exactly where he's positioned. Question is, are they going to do anything about it? They're going to let him escape. He's going to get stuck in the rotate, but he will eventually make his escape towards offices, opening up some bullet hole angles. Apollo still in a dangerous position if somebody gets on the master window rappel, because that could be a brutal spot for Apollo to be stuck in. He'll back off into bathroom. He's got a hatch over his head, though. We're not seeing that pressure from the attackers. Nobody's pressuring that out, but Apollo delivers the kill onto Melted. They'll get traded out right away as this breach has been opened up by Forrest. And Forrest is already in sight, looking to storm on over, continuing this aggression. Where are the defenders right now? Forrest is remaining in sight uncontested. Splash takes a few shots onto a player down on luggage stairs, but it's not going to deliver any frags, as now Jackal will smoke it out and get the plant down.
Just so long as they've got the coverage, this should be possible. Yaga with 2. It's a 4v2 post-plant. Just the Vigil and the Goyo left alive to save their team's chances. The first of the frags. Forrest is down. The rooftop baiter still alive and trying to shut down Splash. The reaction shot, and he gets it a 2v2. He's got to rotate now and move quickly. Not a whole lot of time to waste here. They've got to recognize that, get the intel. Zeno begins the plant. We'll see one player run on in. Jay and Yaga Ape, 8-6, steal their opponent's map pick. Coastline goes their way.
What a play there in the closing seconds from Jay to take the map win for Ape. And like we talked about, Reese and everybody at home, I mean, this is probably what Ape needed to seal the victory in this match. They prove that even on Gatekeeper's map pick, even on a map that is so frag heavy, that is...
Wait any longer, because we'll be getting into Cafe just shortly. This will be our second Cafe of the afternoon. We had it as our very first map, if my memory serves me right. It was between... I'm not going to bother flipping that far back in my notebook. Don't want to get trapped in the folds of the paper, but it was... a fairly solid game. I want to say it was a 7-3 in favor of Aerial Arise versus Farmers Market. So maybe we'll see a scoreline similar to that. The Gatekeepers obviously do not want to be in that territory. We'll get into the operator ban. So you got the Maverick taken out first. Maybe a Thatcher up second here for Ape. Or maybe they'll leave the MPs on the board. Nope, not a chance.
Yeah, we see the Maverick and the Thatcher off the board early, and you know what that means? Probably someone on the likes of a Kaid, maybe a Bandit or a Mew, but more likely the Kaid, not allowing those hatches to be open. But it's going to be the Wamai. We saw this earlier today when we were on Cafe as well. Wamai ban, so great to see because it changes the way teams are forced to play that pixel position, if at all. Sometimes we'll see a Warden brought out. Sometimes you won't play that position whatsoever, simply because the impact of a Wamai ban can be so huge. It's going to be the Mira ban, the final ban for the Gatekeepers here in the ban phase. And that means we are going to have the Kaid on the board. So without a Maverick and without a Thatcher, a Kaid can lock off a hatch almost indefinitely.
Rightly so, and it seems like a lot of the teams that we have on display today really enjoy taking that gamble of leaving the Kaid up, and perhaps it doesn't have as much of an effect. On the third floor, Apollo opts to bring the Bandit, which is not an operator that sees all too much presence, and I can explain why. The Kaid is good, right? Because not only can he protect the red wall with his Electro Claws so that the attackers have to slow down, get the IQ, for example, to go and clear it like we see from this first attacker lineup for Ape, but also the Bandit batteries are no good to protect the freezer wall because of the simple fact that all you need to do to clear them is head up on the skylight and you can get the perfect angle. If it's too far back, you can simply use a bit of utility, burn the ADS that's likely protecting it, and then just blow it up. It's not difficult to clear there.
Well, speaking of difficulty to clear, we have a Clash in play. That's going to be Rexevi on the Clash, and that's an interesting pick to say the least, but I believe that is the Gatekeeper's substitute for that Wamai ban. They're going to place that Clash right in that pixel position. They're going to use that Clash not only to gain a lot of information where this push is coming from, but to simply just block off a doorway, because that is what Clash can do so well sometimes. We are going to see the same aggression we are going to see here from Gatekeepers that we saw on map 1. Feltwinter already going for that spawn peak, as is Apollo, waiting for this push to come through. But the attackers, they're smarter than that. They know exactly what to be aware of, and they're not going to fall victim to these early spawn peaks quite yet.
It's always a risk that you take as a defender. If you try to go aggressive on a spawn peak, maybe the attackers will drone you out and catch you unawares. Yaga is moving in. He's got his teammates to drone him up red, so maybe we'll be seeing a bit of a faster paced Cafe than traditionally is to be expected. Splash is off of that same kind of Jaeger Ash, very aggressive role that we saw him play, instead of picking up the Valkyrie. It's a swing from Apollo to net the first kill. Apollo goes down without much of a peep, and here's an operator yet to be seen for the entirety of the first map, and if I'm correct, all day, the Clash.
Well, the Clash is just going to be ready for this push to come through. Unfortunately for Yaga, that's the flashes off the board. That's those drones and those breaching rounds. That big utility-heavy operator of Ash off the board early. We do see the piano wall getting opened up here from red stairs. Those Selmas so effective from call out here. But Feltwinter just being so aggressive, but finally that'll get paid for in kind. Jay will drop down Feltwinter, now going to stare into the eyes of a Clash. The C4 going to take Melted very low, but not deliver the fatal killing shot on to Melted. So it's still a 4v4. Minute 15 to go. We see Apollo working a potential flank, but he'll get droned out and forced to rotate back towards site. And Splash down here, and Pillar's going to try to shoot a couple of shots here onto this new balcony. Going to be contested by one player currently droning to figure out exactly where Splash is coming from. Under a minute to go. This attack has made pretty good progress. There's the swing from Melted. He'll take down Splash. But it's actually going to be a trade. A full trade from the Valkyrie and the Nomad, taking us down to a 3-3 with 45 seconds left.
Ape have got to start speeding up here. They opened up the wall, but the Clash, Rexevi, still stands in the path. See the zone moves further, taking a bit of damage and slowing down. If anyone were to swing from Freezer, that could have been a close kill, but not to be just yet. Zoe moves closer up to the wall. Apollo realizes it, actually getting call out. Forest falls as well as Rexevi pulls out the SPS MG9. Zeno collects the final kill, and the Gatekeepers with an early success on the top floor.
Well, that's an early success there from the Gatekeepers, like you said, and got to admit, I'm a little bit surprised that that worked out the way it did. It seemed that the aggression wasn't there from the Gatekeepers. They simply just, I mean, the aggression was there, certainly, but that's not what won them the round. They won the round pure and simple off the strat book. They played patient, they played passive, and they just let Ape play into their arms. And I gotta say, I'm surprised that Ape fell to that strategy. I figured that if you go to the strat book, Ape's gonna have you beat every single time. But the Gatekeepers are showing just a little bit that they have what it takes to even beat a team like Ape in a strat book battle. Right now, it's going in their favor heading into round number 2.
I would have liked to see Ape punish the aggression from Gatekeepers a little bit earlier. We saw them just continuous peeking windows. Feltwinter was punished for it, but the rest of the team did not suffer exactly the same. Apollo, in fact, getting 2. And Ape's attack plan, I think, needs to include more elements to clear that clash. You're not totally prepared for it, and I think that's, you can excuse Ape. I mean, Gatekeepers, this is the first clash we're likely seeing, and Ape, I don't think they were prepared for it. They're prepared for what we saw on Coastline, which was Gatekeepers, every man has a gun, a good one too, and they're gonna peek and try to swing you at every turn. We'll see the vertical extension for this next defense on the reading and dining sites. As far as the composition here, the only oddball, the Legion. Castle is kind of sort of an either-or operator as far as playing this vertical extension. Some teams like to opt for it because he can, you know, protect you. You can lock off the snow door, or rather the reading door coming from hell, and so that gives you some protection from a rush. A lot of teams, when they see the full vertical extension, they might, you know, have an inkling of a thought to go for that rush, but perhaps a train bypass will be the plan, as we can see Ape a full stack outside the window.
Well, they're going to go for this bypass. Potentially, they are going to work some players upstairs to the top floor to get that top-down clear going, but Splash and Apollo are just swinging onto this mining room window. They're just going at it, looking for these attackers to pick them off early. Ape are being smart about it, though. They're going to send some drones in rather than sending their heads into the gunfire of those defenders. We do see Feltwinter playing upstairs while this aggression continues to play out in front of our eyes downstairs. Splash with a C4. Gonna prep that one for the new Valk drop. As she continues to challenge onto this mining window, it's not going to pay off dividends for either player. Yaga going to take a little bit of damage, but not taken down all the way. And with a minute 45 to go, though, this aggression from the Gatekeepers is slowing down this take from Ape. They have not gotten into the building quite yet. They have not gotten this traction that they are going to need to get this pressure going. We do have a player, 2 players on the red stairs now to work down and get this crossfire onto pillars and onto the red hallway. But Forrest now going to take out that C4, looking for these defenders and where they are positioned. But right now, Apollo going to slowly inch his way back and back off, knowing that a flood of attackers is pouring in this window.
Call out down here, but it's 2 quick picks. Jay and Forrest now melted as well as Gatekeepers begin to melt. Call out is picked back up, and Rexevi divided from his teammate of Zeno down deeper inside of, I think, dining near the hallway. Rexevi will reveal his position with a bit of a shot. Forrest is felled, though. Zeno with the SMG-11 finds that kill. 50 seconds nearly here. Ape with an advantage, a big one, too. They can push for a dining plant, but you got to be careful that you don't lose too many picks. And when you go for the push, that you trade out the death, which is soon to follow. Jay goes down, Zeno taken even lower, and we'll see Rexevi on the drop. The Ash is ready for it, though. Yaga swings around, and Zeno's on the run like a criminal, going down for the rotate, coming back up Brown. He's got to try and catch out this plant before he gets apprehended by Ape. We're still looking to try and close this out. Nearly spots him there, but with Zeno on such little health, just 1 bullet will do him in. It's him for a triple, though, as they play off site, deeper inside, reading, now taking up the position that Zeno once called home, and his rotate coming through from the red hall. Check out that tall angle way back deeper. Melted spots him. Zeno cut down. A triple kill for his effort, but Ape win the round.
Well, a beautiful angle there from Melted to seal off the final kill. And that one really went back and forth, but it was Ape who just stormed ahead. They got the early picks, and they used that early control to get a beautiful execute going on to site. Sure, Zeno had a triple. He had the chance to do it, but it was unlikely that the ace clutch could come through. Overall, Ape have looked strong here. We are going to have to see the kitchen site brought out this time from the Gatekeepers, going bar and then reading. Not the typical order. Surely they're trying to mix things up just a little bit, maybe catch Ape unaware of their site positioning. But we're going to be heading back to kitchen and service. And the beginning of these rounds are going to play out quite similar. It's going to be all about the top-down clear, getting map control, and using that map control to eventually get yourself a clean execute onto the bomb site.
Fairly apt breakdown. That's exactly what's necessary to go for this attack. And in the first map, rather the first match of the series, the cafe we saw way earlier in the day, for those of you who joined us in the morning, it seemed like the attackers really struggled with the slowdown meta the most when the kitchen was the question. The vertical play that you have to get can take a long time, especially if the Gatekeepers opt to play an extension inside of VIP, the kind of which we saw frequently from Farmers Market in their game versus Arise. But with this reinforcement going down, no shield deployed or ADSs which would be needed to protect it inside VIP, I think it's more likely to say that we will see just a bit of a roam, the typical aggression, the spawn peak that we've come to expect.
Looks like this one's not going to bear too much fruit here for Feltwinter, as Callout's gonna punish the aggression from the Valkyrie splash. The next to hit the deck, that's gonna be a shot over all the way by Christmas. Feltwinter cannot find the fatal blow onto any of these attackers, but he's gonna continue that aggression. There's no doubt will be punished shortly, as now he's been spotted out by those pushing up attackers. And now he's gonna fall back onto that second floor to join his teammate Rexevi. Zeno takes down Callout. That's a good pick there to equalize us at 4-4. The diffuser now hitting the deck. Yaga with full reading room control, now searching for these remaining defenders who are positioned on this second floor. That's going to be Rexevi and Feltwinter just waiting for their time to strike. This top-down clear is starting to come through, but it's coming through a bit slower than Ape would have surely liked to go down. They're still trying to get this map control before they eventually open those vertical angles onto site, but Feltwinter is just waiting in the train room, trying to stall this out.
Really excellent stall job if we want to talk about that. Gatekeepers have been really difficult to clear. Yaga guns down Feltwinter, but Rexevi with 2. Now Forrest and Yaga are gone. And Ape are nowhere near the objective or even their own diffuser, which will need to be recovered in this round. The sites are still lying dormant below. And Ape not even close. Nearly a floor bang there for Melted. Another player thinking to rotate up Brown. Maybe try to get a bit lucky here. Oh, it's a Nitro. Swinging around the corner. The rest of the bandits on Gatekeepers escape as they fled back down towards their own site. With plenty of time wasted here, Ape fighting from a significant point of disadvantage.
Well, the disadvantage, yes, it's a 2 versus 3, but it's not out of the question that Ape have what it takes here. Melted and Jay are strong players. And if Gatekeepers continue that over-aggression, Ape could surely punish them for it and make them pay, eventually getting this execute going. But with 40 seconds remaining, no hard breach on the table. The cams and the intel are being gathered from the Gatekeepers right now. This one is going to be quite a challenge. Ape have quite a hill to climb. They'll be aware of the position of Apollo here in Freezer, but that's not going to be enough. They have no way into the Freezer right now as their hard breach. That would be call out. Was taken off the table quite early. Here comes Jay. The knowledge is going to be known that Jay is coming from this white hall. He's going to swing around, try to take out the black eye camera. He will do so, but now the wub going to prove so suppressive as he swings onto double doors, looking around to find anybody. There comes a swing. Rexevi delivers the triple, and Zeno will finish it out, taking down Melted and the Gatekeepers with a decisive round number 3.
Even despite the capitalization on the early aggressiveness with call-out gunning down Splash, they spent so long on the 3rd and 2nd floors that approaching the kitchen, there was nothing left for them to do, and there wasn't enough time to get it done. And that's the cold and honest truth. They ran out of time, and Ape played that very sloppily. You have to cut down on these opening frags. You can't leave any options for the Gatekeepers to fight back into it, because so far, they're playing pretty well. So, with that being said, still the attack. Ape have that at least in their favor, and it's just the first 3 rounds. Ape could pull something out of their hat. Ideally, coming out of this, you want at least 3 rounds. I think that's what would give the confidence to Ape. Gatekeepers have got 2 so far, so that's a bit of a money in the bag. I think the onus is on the Gatekeepers, really, though, if you want to look forward as far as the storyline, because their opponent, they've already got 1 point in the bag, and the Gatekeepers have to fight if they want to get to that decider map.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. It's going to be the Gatekeepers with their tournament on the line. They're going to be the ones to crawl back from this 1 map deficit. In this map itself, it is Ape who are currently behind, but it's Cafe. You expect this to go 4-2 usually, given that it is defender-sided, so that would make sense. If Ape are just able to get 1 more, we know how strong they can be on defense, especially on a map that they decided to go to, a Cafe, their map pick. It would make sense if they have a strong defensive performance as well. Feltwinter, done the same thing every single round. Spawn peeking towards the same side of the map, but it's not going to pay off once again. C4, very early C4 coming out from Rexevi, but it will not deliver the blow onto any of those attackers. Everyone's still at full HP here. Yaga and Jay now going for that clear on the bottom floor. There's going to be 1 defender caught out. That's going to be Splash, taken down there by Yaga early on, looking towards that new balcony that was going to be punished for the Jaeger early on.
That's a huge advantage to take here. The Nitro already wasted for Rexevi. You've got 1 more in the hands of Feltwinter, assuming he doesn't get over-aggressive and find himself gunned down in the observation screen by Ape. Melted, trying to peek the hatch. This is a tough angle to fight. You're better off just avoiding it entirely, especially for Apollo, who can shoot, and then heal himself up and go back to fighting you. It's not one that you're likely to win, though. Ape certainly would be the team to get it done. Zeno opens up the hatch, so the escape route is established as the vertical play is strengthening their grip on Cocktail. Zeno is actually forced out by this now, and curiously, he's actually 6-1, having a strong performance so far. Here comes Rexevi, punching a hole in the wall. Buck has got to realize this totally missed opportunity there. Callout could have had a freebie. The Buck holding far back versus the shotgun. That's the decision you want to make as he rotates. The call comes through. I don't know how we see Rexevi get away with this, completely floundering, flying around on the second floor.
Well, Rexevi's going to escape with his life for now and just be waiting to strike on those white stairs. The utility jump coming towards Apollo. Callout going to take quite a bit of damage. Actually, that's going to be Rexevi to finally hit the deck, and there goes another one. That's going to be Jay onto Zeno. Here comes that push. Melted finds Apollo, and it's going to be all up to Felt Winter with a 1 versus 5. The ace clutch is needed, but the ace clutch going to be nearly impossible. 40 seconds left, and now the diffuser is on the deck. So Felt Winter goes for that retake. He'll find one onto Melted, looks for another, gets to spray through the soft wall, but will not connect with any shots quite yet. Continues to spray and pre-fire every angle he can. He'll line the shot up with the head, but Forrest will take out Felt Winter before that could be any more trouble. So APE get round number 2. They've done their job on this first split, and it takes it over to a 2-2.
Well, now we're at even odds, and any additional rounds APE gets are just money in the bank for them, essentially. And that's what we'll focus on. Bar again. Obviously, the Gatekeepers are gonna try to play a little bit safer after that round. At least Splash will, you would think, after he died on the opener. You don't want to put him in a risky position, have him go down again. The roles have actually been switched up a little bit. Apollo on the Echo, 6 picks onto the Legion. I think he would have been doubly forced to switch ops. He's got the Legendary as well as the Quarantined Operator, but that role swap that I wanted to mention, no more from Splash on the Jaeger. Instead, Zeno picks it up and splashes onto the Valkyrie.
Valkyrie pick that pseudo Echo in play. Of course, Echo not allowed at this time due to his quarantine phase. But we do have those black eye cameras ready to suss out the positions of the incoming attackers. But like you said, Reese, we're heading back to the bar site. We were just here, and it didn't work out so well for the Gatekeepers. It was a nearly flawless round for APE. APE gonna be looking to emulate some of that success, keeping it the same, continue that brutal score line in their favor. We're gonna have to see some adaptation here from the Gatekeepers. It's what you like to see when you go back to the same site twice in a row. One adaptation, obviously, we don't see that dock in play, and we see the same lineup here coming out from APE, opting to bring the Thermite instead of the Ace. No Selma charges, rather the exothermic charges will be preferred. Felt Winter, for the 5th round in a row, will be spawn peeking the exact same angle, and it will be free and unpenalized once again. The attackers will be aware of where he's coming from, but they're not going to be able to find the pick. Here goes Felt Winter. He's going to swing out again, but he's not going to find the shots. Just going to keep making the attackers a bit worried about it, but he's not going to find anybody for his troubles.
You would think at some point they're just going to have somebody rush up with the frag grenade, cook it, and sail it in through that window. The drone, I think that's actually Mozzie's drone, close up at the window. Felt Winter still plays aggressive. They've got so much pressure from every rappel angle. Felt Winter realizes this and decides to back off. Not going to try to contest that, even though he spent so long in this position, probably the big majority, and Splash guns down Yaga, so the switch to Valkyrie made it work, and losing your Ash early is no good situation, especially for a team like APE who want to play at their full strength and take as many rounds as possible. They're going to have to fight back now, find the trade, and push this further to the objective, but with Rexevi on the flank, he may be looking to disrupt the event.
Well, Callout now searching for a pick here on the first floor. Keep in mind, this is 2 full floors away from where the actual bomb site is located, so APE are clearly taking their time here, getting this roam clear established, trying to find any picks that they can before the execute comes down. We do see Melted finally dropping into the building, looking to find anyone in Cigar, but with Cigar control now, the focus will be on Piano. Forrest now pushing up, and Piano going to take a little bit of damage as now the drop comes in. This C4 could be dangerous. It will. Jay will hit the floor as Felt Winter with the beautiful Malusi C4 from below will deliver that frag. The exothermic charge detonates on the freezer, establishing this long line of sight all the way into Cocktail. But Callout will be close on this wall, looking to swing this and find anybody. That'll be a free pick missed. The Jaeger just darting back and forth, running around to and fro But with 45 seconds to go with a 2-man disadvantage, Ape are looking to find anything, any foothold to get back into this round. Melted gonna take this fight onto the Mozzie. Rex Savvy gonna hit the deck as well. Splash, though, answers it back. Melted takes down Apollo. Another follow-up kill from Forrest onto Splash, cutting him down. And now it's a 2v2. Equal man advantage here with 25 seconds to go. Xeno and Feltwinter are all the way on the cocktail side of things. The hard pings go out. They know exactly where the attackers are coming from. But will they be able to stop this plan? We do have ample utility still in the hands of Melted and Forrest. 3 flashbangs could delay this defensive attempt. Time ticking away. 7 seconds, 5 seconds left. The plant's going to go down. An attempt to deny it, but Melted will cover it beautifully. Forrest does hit the deck, though, and just like that, the defenders have won round number 5 simply because the shots came out enough to down the planter, and the Nomad could not pick up the diffuser in time.
Gotta be a frustrating loss there for Ape, who fought it back and managed to keep that round fairly close through the end. The diffuser can be so finicky to plant down sometimes, and I think, you know, maybe even if he had begun the plant, the Jaeger still probably would have managed to swing around, and Xeno could have gotten those final 2 picks. It didn't look likely for the Zofia to have withstood in time or the planter to have completed it, and after hitting triple zeros, bailing off the defuse plant means you lose. But Kitchen again, we'll see it come through. This was fairly confident win for the Gatekeepers. You'll remember how effective their roam was, never conceding control of the first, second, or third floors until really, I mean, close to the end there, wasting about as much time as you could ask for a gift with a nice little bow.
Well, that time has been the problem for this Ape attack in a couple of these unsuccessful rounds. In that last round, with about 20 seconds to go, they were still trying to drone and get out that information before the execute came down. So when they put the plant on the deck with 3 seconds rather, to go, there wasn't much they could do. All the defenders had to do was deny the plant. And last time we were here on Kitchen, like you mentioned, it was that roam presence that denied the vertical angles, denied the access to the site for as long as possible. And that's exactly what worked out so well from Gatekeepers. We've seen them adapt beautifully to this, textbook strategy from Ape. They're playing by the book right now, the Gatekeepers are, and it's working just fine for them, actually. But I know you're going to be surprised by this, Reese. But look at this right here. It's the Malusi. It's Feltwinter doing the same spawn peek for 6 rounds in a row.
Lucky for the boys on Ape, he hasn't really been all too successful, just trying to make sure that they know he's there. Xeno got an angle down here watching towards Hell. Call out will look to make this engagement, but Xeno is actually going to give it up, and Feltwinter with a great opening pick. Yaga down again, the Ash failing to find her entry. Call out closes in on reading. Feltwinter hides inside Fireplace Hall. The hatch drop probably to follow soon. They've got to drone this out, though. If Ape fails to check this position and Feltwinter gets any kills because of it, that would be so important. Xeno has yet to be cleared, and so Ape again moving slow to eliminate this roam presence. At this point, I think it's honestly time to drop the Ash and bring the Jackal. If attacking Kitchen, you struggle this much with clearing out the Gatekeepers from the second floor.
Now, what we're seeing here from the Gatekeepers is they don't mind when they've been droned out. They don't mind when the pressure is mounting on their shoulders. They're just going to stick out those positions, and it's been working for them because they're supported by those players from below, by those players on all sides. They really have no fear when holding this site. Feltwinter's going to run out in Red Hall, but Callout's going to punish that one. The drone work and the sound call coming out and working in Ape's favor. They're still down a man, though. It's a 4 versus 3 in the favor of Gatekeepers. But with a minute to go, there's still time to get this pressure down, but it's all going to be up to Call Out. You need this ace to stay on the board because the hard breach needs to work for you. You cannot push into Kitchen without getting a wall or 2 open, at least a hatch open to get this pressure mounting. Apollo looking for any pick through those vertical holes in prep, looking for anyone to find, but these attackers still are looking for the picks the same. They're not finding anybody, and this attack has yet to really mount. They're going to finally drop in Freezer Forest, a shot onto Splash. That's going to be one, but That's going to be one answered there quickly by Rexevi onto Force Melted, taking him down for his troubles as well. And now it's a 2v2, 20 seconds left. Melted with a pistol. He'll swing around, take down Apollo. He'll be taken down, and Call Out with the final shot onto Zeno. And just like that, Ape will equalize and keep us at 3-3.
Bailing off the plant and securing that final kill. So crucial that Ape take this, frankly, a deciding round. And entering the second split, now more than ever, Gatekeepers have to show us their strengths and how they perform as a team, because with Ape on the defense, you can be sure that they've got some hefty strats ready to show us. But something that we'll see shown by the Gatekeepers is this Twitch pick from Apollo, choosing to bring the F2 and Melted. He'll switch from the Valkyrie over to the Capcan, an operator we don't see all too often, and he knows the Gatekeepers move quickly, and so maybe he's going to try to get a bit of damage dealt to them early and force them to slow down. If you don't want to get, your shins blown off by one of those EDD traps, you are forced to move a bit slower, and every time you push through the threshold of a doorway, you've got to check the sides to make sure that there isn't a trap lying in wait.
Well, now it's going to be Ape who are lying in wait. They are on defense on their own map pick. I would expect them to perform exceptionally well on this half, but my expectations have been a bit shattered on the first half of this map. The Gatekeepers came out strong on defense. Sure, a 3-3 split on a map that's generally favored for the defense is not exactly where you want to be, but toe-to-toe with some of the best is amazing if you are the Gatekeepers. They're taking the fight to Ape, and Ape here, they're have to sweat this one out. This one is not as easy as they surely would have liked. But now they're on defense. It's their map pick. I would expect them to show up strong here. And Kitchen is going to be the first bomb site of choice.
So we've seen Apollo. He's stuck the Twitch. And, you know, as much as I want to say that's for the drones so he can, you know, Twitch a few things, maybe that has some substance, that argument, because of the lack of a Thatcher. Clearing the Electro Claws will be difficult. But I think in all reality, it's probably just Apollo feeling comfortable with the F2. It's a gun that has been served a hefty nerf, not in recent memory, actually. It's been a long time since the F2 has been one of the top contenders, enough so to put it in contention for a common operator pick in that fragging role. As soon as she gets flashbangs, though, I think Twitch would probably see a bit more of a rise. Here we go, though. Melted cut down early. That's Splash finding the opener. A swing around the hallway from the Malusi nets him a second. It's a double. Quite the opener here as the Gatekeepers make their presence known in assaulting this map for us to come up on the flank. Maybe even a third to be given to the player waiting inside of Train. The shots can't connect, and in fact it is a third kill for Splash, gunning everyone down. Is this gonna be a fourth? Jay, are you gonna peek? He says no. I'm gonna rotate back down, and probably pretty good timing there. You don't want to leave your final teammate on their lonesome within the objective. Gatekeepers with a great start here in Ape, probably gonna play a bit more of a turtle in the coming rounds.
You'd think that they would be more passive than they were here, and Jay's not going to be passive at all, taking off the head of Splash. Finally, the triple kill player going to be removed from action, but Feltwinter will quickly answer it back. It's going to be all up to Yaga. He'll probably have a free kill here, as long as he swings this at the right time. I don't believe this side is fully aware. He was! I lied to you! Feltwinter's going to have the headshot onto Yaga, and just like that, the Gatekeepers will take their first attacking round. And oh my goodness, Reese, my expectations, I mean, I'm going to throw them out the window at this point because the Gatekeepers are here to play.
They certainly are, and they've delivered Ape a bit of a scare. Not heading back to the kitchen. We'll be going to the middle floor bomb site, and Ape, yeah, a bit shaken after that. Thank goodness that Ape were able to secure the 3-3 split and won't have to face a team Gatekeepers who are, you know, one round away from securing that match point. We can quickly bring up the kills. It's been fairly evenly split. You've got Melted, who's been the real standout, and in the previous round, what more impactful kill could you have asked for to gun him down early? A lot of those attacker rounds on Coastline were spearheaded by an early opener, and specifically in the very first round, a kill we saw Splash get onto Melted. And so, you know, what a coincidence that the first round of the second split happens in that exact same circumstance. Both of those entry players, the fraggers for their teams, facing off. APE need to look at the lessons they learned in that previous round and react quickly. Don't make the same mistake that was made on Coastline and let Gatekeepers run wild.
Well, they surely ran wild that first round. I mean, oh my goodness, it was Splash who just went on a tear. Hasn't been huge so far this map, but in that last round, picking up 3 in a row, just beautiful 3K, and that is enough to bring Gatekeepers that victory on their first attacking round. But we're headed to our second defensive round for APE, and they're going to elect to go to what is generally considered the tertiary bomb site, Reading Room and Fireplace Hall, electing to do this very strong top floor hold. We see the castle barricades, a lot of soft destruction, several wubs, as well as a sneaky little Melted playing on that vigil, just waiting for this top-down clear to go down. But Apollo on the Jackal, that's going to assist that top-down clear. Get those footprints, figure out exactly where these defenders are holding so you can get this aggressive attack going.
Raxevi is off of the Jackal role we saw him play for so long on Coast, and instead will bring up the Thermite. Apollo suffering. It could be the gateway to an early frag here for APE, should they connect. And check out this angle here, dealt by Yaga, watching up through the roof, through the hatch, and through the humidor onto the hatch drop. Even further up, spots the Thermite. Apollo already so low, but the UMP, such a pea shooter, cannot confirm it. Call out through the wall, a wonderful shot. Now Splash is dead. Apollo on the ground, and Forrest may be able to confirm this kill, or even Melted, who lies inside of Cigar. It's not to be. Melted falls, and so too will go Forrest as Felt, Winter, and Zeno get their picks respectively. Apollo is still bleeding out as the rotate comes out from Colette. He wants to confirm this, maybe swing and still remain in control of this pixel position. APE might not have the man advantage, but the time, with 1:12, certainly on their side.
I'd agree with you there. They do have that 11th man working in their favor, but now it is a 4v3 now that Apollo has been picked up. Jay will rotate back towards site with that SMG-11 in hand, but they've got their work cut out for them. This aggressive push from the Gatekeepers continues to be so belligerent, to be so powerful, and getting on this floor and getting these early picks. Now with 45 seconds to go, the push isn't quite on the main floor just yet. Those Jackal tracks, those will come out, and be aware of the position of these remaining anchors. The soft destruction comes out from above. The breaching hammer just Swiss cheesing the entire roof of the site. Now we do have Raxevi worked up into pillar, getting ready for this Reading Room execute, as Call Out is in position for a possible brown stairs flank. There's likely going to be an air jab waiting to greet him. That there will. He'll get tossed on his back, and his position will be sussed out, so he'll have to rotate away. 14 seconds on the clock. The time is running out here. Call Out is going to be working a flank with this pillar's position. Jay gets one onto Apollo. Call Out swings. He'll take down one. Yaga will find one onto Zeno. Feltwinter gets two. Call Out secures his double kill, and now it's a 1v1 with Diffuser on the deck, and the time runs out. APE will win it simply because the 11th man on that big old timer in the top of your screen proved too powerful for the Gatekeepers to conquer.
Talk about a wonderful vertical game, even if APE, they lost all of those gunfights. Melted was killed, Forrest fell, and they were never able to collect onto that downed player inside of the cigar shop. Still, the amount of time that they wasted up there by continuing to peek, swinging every angle, led to the chaos factor that the time often does. And because of that, Call Out, even despite his position being known, and they had obviously recognized that he was on the flank, maybe they didn't. The call comes out, where were you air jabbed? It was on Brown Stairs. He was launched down, then he rotated to come up from red, and because there was that opening made at the end of the mining hallway, the planter was dropped on the floor. Call Out easily shut that one down, and Gatekeepers had no time to react.
I really think Gatekeepers had it in them to win that round, honestly. It was simply not a little bit of issues with the flank watch. Call Out should not have been allowed to not only flank brown stairs, get air jabbed, and escape with his life, but then run all the way over to red stairs and do a flank from the other side. You have to be aware of that player on the flank, especially when that air jab detonates 2 inches from where that push is going down. But a brilliant flank from Call Out despite that slight error there from the Gatekeepers. But I believe, unless my eyes deceive me, rather than heading to bar, we're going to be headed to what is typically the quaternary bomb site, and that is going to be fireplace and mining.
A curveball that Ape decide to elect and throw at the Gatekeepers may very well catch them off guard, but the issue that I have with mining is it tends to lend itself to the better fragging team, because the Gatekeepers have to take control of such a linear objective. Here comes the run out. Forrest goes aggressive, leaping on over. He can't quite get the angle, returns back in. Maybe a pre-fire waiting for him from a player above, but it's not to be, and Forrest survives still crystal clear at 100 health. The drone comes through, and the Gatekeepers have got to get this intel going if they want any chance to approach the mining bomb site. And the best facet of this objective is not only can you play the vertical extension that proves so successful when you defend reading and dining, but also you can go for a horizontal extension inside of reading itself, which is so difficult to clear, and Ape are going to prove this reality to the Gatekeepers as Forrest opens up onto Rexevi.
Well, that's a big pick, and that's going to drop the diffuser down. Zeno was able to sneak around and pick up the case, but still, a man advantage, losing your hard breach, not to mention 2 drone. That's going to be huge. Feltwinter, he'll have the answer for his team, taking down the Malusi of Yaga and equalizing us at a 4 versus 4. Apollo finds another, taking down Call Out, and all of a sudden, Gatekeepers, they're indeed mounting this aggressive pressure on this quaternary bomb site. That's a very good drone. It got all the way up there, but Forrest will take that one out. They're still down a man, but if you consider that time is on their side, it could be considered equal footing. But Ape need to be careful here. They cannot just walk into these long angles that these attackers are holding. They have to be patient and passive and let the attackers come to them. Forrest is not going to do that whatsoever, but it's going to work in his favor. He'll look for a second and he'll find it. Feltwinter and Splash both hitting the deck, and that's a brilliant triple kill. Theoretically on for the ace here. Apollo now dropped into pillar, looking through reading room, trying to find anybody he could, but it's going to be Forrest, who proved to be too elusive for the time being.
So many gas canisters in pocket here for Jay. He can just burn out the clock as long as you please. 28 seconds to go. Here comes Apollo rotating in. It seems like Forrest is ready for it. A quad. Can he make it the 5th? No! Stolen out by Zeno. Guns him down as he lops off the head. More and more gas erupts throughout the objective as the rotate must come now. 12 seconds, the diffuser in his hands. But does he have enough time to put down the case? He can't even get into the objective. Melted cuts him down. Ape take round 9. 1 round away from match point. Series point.
Well, a brilliant defense from Ape, and that's exactly how they needed to claw their way back in that round on the shoulders of Forrest. The Jaeger with a brilliant 4K, and the exactly what Ape needed to claw their way back in that round. It was Gatekeepers who had a decisive man advantage and were ready to storm in on that site, but Forrest just shut it down. And not to mention an interesting choice to head to mining and fireplace, but the choice did pay off. A bit concerning, like you said, given, you know, the way we've seen these rounds play out with Gatekeepers generally being the frag heavy team. But this time it did indeed go in the favor of Ape. Speaking of which, the Frost is going to come on the board as well. This time it is Melted, opting for the Frost rather than Yaga, who we saw bring the Frost 1 map ago.
Honestly, a lot of people, I think, would criticize the use of the Frost, but you might as well. The Gatekeepers are so aggressive that oftentimes they can make mistakes in the intel game. We've seen that lead to situations where they fail to clear roams, and maybe sometimes it'll lead you into a situation where you fail to clear a frost map. Not to mention the fact that Melted on the frost has also equipped the secondary shotgun, which is so good for the site setup. Being able to shotgun things open, such as rotates, vertical holes, really anything that you want to get, you have a shotgun to do it with. Combine that with the intel of the bulletproof camera, and I think that just about makes the frost pick worth it.
I'll agree with you there, at least for the most part, but we're going to have to see exactly what Melted is able to do with it. Maybe those frost mats come into effect, maybe they don't. But nevertheless, take a look at Melted. That's 10-5. He's really putting on a show for us right now. Forrest obviously 8-7 as well, but most of those kills came in that last round. So right now it's these 8 players who are starting to build that momentum and starting to increase their gunplay just a little bit here. But we're on the kitchen site. Now it's going to be a big focus on this roam and how much time Ape and their roamers are going to be able to take off the clock. We're getting a lot of pressure here already mounting onto Bakery, and Callout's going to be taken out by the Feltwinter crossfire over in Small Bakery. So Yaga's going to be forced to back off into prep and start to play this a little bit more passively. I think what we're seeing here is not a traditional top-down clear. At least for the time being, it's a very direct, linear take on this site.
Melted gonna have to show up here and now, find a frag for his team. The player at the wedding window, I think, has jumped in and managed to evade the frost mat as soon as they got that drone call. I probably related to the rest of the team to when you jump in, watch your step. Melted concussed inside Kochek. He's holding this angle with his life, and he's got Forrest to support him now if anyone should come in from the west. He's got plenty of soft destruction open here for the wall, so the horizontal angle alive and well. You should be able to apply plenty of pressure, but the same is true for Feltwinter on the Jackal, as he looks deeper in through cooking and waiting for anyone on Ape to overexpose themselves. A 5v3 advantage would be dire here for Gatekeepers, but it's not to be. Forrest with the first one, Yaga with the second, and it's a double kill for Forrest. Ape in a 4v2, the advantage is far in their favor, and even more so now, as he can get even more kills and splash with only a sliver of HP. Don't take a breath of that gas, or else you'll be done for.
Forrest is just going insane right now. A triple kill after that 4K. I mean, what in the world is he on right now? Maybe he had some Mike and Nikes. Maybe he's energized. Well, he's clearly ready to go. Now, with 40 seconds left, it's Splash with 1 HP. Pretty much nothing that Splash will be able to do here against 4 hungry Ape defenders. Might be better off using this time to regroup with their team and try to get some strategy about how they're going to approach these final 2 rounds, but not going to elect to do that. Going to elect to try to challenge these gunfights, try to find anybody they can, swinging in a reception, trying to find anyone in Kochek. Not going to prove effective right now. No picks coming the way of the Zofia, so now going to either be throw away your life or just continue to hang out in reception, and it's going to be throw away your life. Delivering, actually, Forrest with a brilliant 4K. So even though that last kill was essentially free, that's back-to-back 4Ks for the big man on the Jaeger.
80% of the kills in these previous 2 rounds. Talk about bringing the impact necessary to keep his team in the fight. It's 6-4. Ape are on match point and looking to close it out. They don't want to send this to overtime, as was necessary for Coastline to steal their opponent's pick. They want to end this now and guarantee their spot in the winner's bracket final. Reading room up next. Ape have proved themselves on this objective before. You'll remember the big crux was the time waste we saw them secure on the top floor that led into the chaos factor developing down on the bomb site itself. Rexevi says, no more thermite for me. I'm playing on the fragger roll. Give me Zof, and it's time to frag out to show my skills in what could be the most important round of this game.
Well, I think no doubt it is. It's going to have to be the comeback from Gatekeepers once again. Last time, it was match point for Ape. Gatekeepers secured the round, and they took it to overtime. They're going to have to win 2 in a row this time, not just 1. And after this round, well, Ape are going to have their pick of their site. But right now, we're headed over to Reading Room and Fireplace. Last time we were here, it was Ape who took the clean victory. But I got to say, Reese, this game has been so momentum heavy. We saw it on Coastline, and now we're seeing it again on Cafe. Ape have now taken 3 rounds in a row, looking to get their 4th to book their ticket to the winner's bracket finals.
5 seconds to insertion.
Exactly so. And here we go for Ape again. The opening kill was a big decider in the final round of Coastline, and I think that goes without saying. The momentum-driven nature of this match that you identified has a lot to do with those opening kills, and that can be the spark that ignites it. No more Malusi constantly peeking from the cigar windows, such as we saw from Feltwinter. He loved to do that over and over again. I think did it every single round on the defensive half, but this time, call out, he's going to play things a bit safer, and why not? You're on match point, you don't want to throw this advantage away and immediately give Gatekeepers the opportunity to take you up to 5v3.
Well, Forrest has already been taking just a little bit of damage. I do believe that was a bit of team damage in the prep phase, so that's going to stifle Forrest's momentum just a little bit, but it's not going to be too much of a problem as Yaga with the red dot trying to find anyone splash, going to take a little bit of damage, but nothing fatal delivered his direction. The Selma charge is still very much in hand. Apollo taking down Melted, the early pick going in the favor of the Gatekeepers once again. On to Melted, a big impact fragger so far. This call out will now resume the position of his fallen teammate and be looking towards Minibar. There's the headshot on to Splash. Call out. The beautiful kill, removing the ace from play. Now that's big. Your hard breach is gone.
How are you going to push in and clear out this vertical extension when you've got no hard breach? That's the question you've got to answer here, and you know, I've got an answer for it. You don't. You don't have any secondaries. We saw Feltwinter, or rather Rexevi, is off the Thermite. He wants to play on Zoe and get the opportunity to play the fragging role. And because of that, no longer do you have any other hard breaching options. And so the Gatekeepers are going to have to fight hard if they want to win this here. Forrest, despite being on low HP, still gets a frag, but Rexevi shuts out call out. So it's a 3v3, equal man count across both sides. And this is fairly anyone's round, I think. 55 seconds. The execute will decide a lot about the future as well as Forrest's performance. The opportunity for another 4K is well open should he collect these last few kills. Xeno, Rexevi, and Feltwinter stand in the path of APE to close out this series and book their ticket. As you mentioned, damage dealt to Jay, the vertical angle working some favors for Rexevi, watching the flank and making sure that nobody from APE tries to retake control of Pillar.
Well, now Xeno working his way all the way up into mining, going to start that utility dump onto that red hull. Here comes the drop into Pillar. That's going to be Rexevi with the diffuser in hand. Smokes go out to allow this plant to go down. The Wub is oppressive, but not enough to oppress that plant. But here come Forrest and here come Yaga. They're going to try to swing this. The prone angle from Forrest are going to inch their way around. Now Rexevi stuck in this corner, but Yaga hits the floor. Forrest now swings. Feltwinter with a vertical play. Forrest kills Rexevi though, and that's going to be a 2 versus 2 now. Here comes Jay trying to eliminate Feltwinter on the top angles, and he will do exactly that. It's going to be up to Xeno in a 2 versus 1. With a diffuser on the deck, it is a post plant, so not an impossible situation, but the cover from above is too much, and Xeno hits the floor. Jay with the final kill, and just like that, it is APE who have booked their ticket to the winner bracket finals.
There we go, and they make it true. A 2-0 victory in the semifinals for the winners bracket and a dominant performance. The comeback story on Coastline and simply defensive superiority here on Cathay. Negotiating that 3-3 split so important. Only seeing the Gatekeepers secure a single round in that